Dead don't sleep. Those who are dead don't need sleep. They simply stare at walls. They listen to their neighbors. They observe in their community where they live in a castle, in a house, where they have a room and no worries, no concerns, and they spin in circles. They repeat a process, and they say their system's ungovernable. And all of the colors, the bright images, our consciousness, the mystery, nobody can solve in a weight, stimulation, procedure of rewarding a beneficiary of Social Security and age-blind disability and DSHS and another place to hear a voice in a whisper instead of having a career. After learning mathematics and philosophy and theory about light, film, cinema, and Iranian directors, experimental artists, anthropologists and socializers, psychologists, and documentary filmmakers, cinema comrades who share their riches and their treasures, their knowledge about what they learned from another human, who learned from another animal, who learned from the soil where they grow their vegan meat, for their pie made with no animal, no ethical, biological necessity of chemistry and biology and anatomy, with some physiology about someone who hears too much and has too many imaginary voices and friends in their mind where they live every beat, every breath, every night and day of a calendar they say was made in some temple pyramid where an Illuminati visits them and teaches them about the light they call consciousness and a darkness they call race, towards the finish line. A checkered flag, a pride flag with a transgender bumper sticker in their Tesla, with a Prius Chinese battery for them to get and order and buy their groceries from a faraway location to be delivered to their doorstep for them to hide in their cave they made to live when those Antifa soldiers arrive and they knock and they knock and they knock, and then they declare war. They say needed for racism, and their letter and sound and word and written noise to be better than a Bible they call white supremacy, and a God they say should have never been written about in a story they say never happened, in a book of Genesis, in a New Testament for a chaplain applicant to say to a bully, go drown in your blood, go record your harassment, and say to your counselor, social worker, psychiatrist, you've located a sound and a UFO and you alien with your eyes. You see with your brain instead of with your vision, and dream about instead of living with your body, feeling what you think with your cognition. A doctor at the University of Washington calls information from an experiment with monkeys and rats in places similar to where there's confusion and some more of those colors they call emotion now. Behavior and a social requirement to have a career and job after having had cancer and graduated college. With an aspiration to receive a PhD after hard work and dedication to solving Hitler's last present he left for you all, to have your meth he gave you, and the soldiers who read his books and say they don't want fascists, they want ungovernable, who have decided duality instead of what Gandhi said when he said, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. Nobody can hurt me, he said, without his permission. Before the boom took his life and the Muslims rose up in Pakistan and began to make IEDs in Iraq and Iran, when terrorism was popular and culture demanded what was given with explosives and detonations, destruction and death and dying for a Sharia law written about, talked about, and blown up in a jihad war called Capitol Hill, Portland, Seattle, Pacific Northwest, and California, the land of dead freedom, the home of those who would rather hide than fight the enemy called bully, 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 assaulting harassment, who took their fist to my eye and said they'd rather have the world blind and dark than light with consciousness to have their revolution during a coronavirus pandemic and high unemployment and lots of dead bodies in bags and hallways and rooms where the only fighting allowed anymore has to do with not being able to die and commit suicide to leave this land destroyed by gender neutral, brilliant, genius, and intelligent thinkers who have thoughts about infinity now.